noticed a 52-year-old man allegedly making inappropriate comments towards one of the females in the group.
He was looking for a little girl! You're looking for a little girl? Yeah!
A physical altercation between the man and the teens ensued. However, things would quickly turn for the worst, because after being pushed over by the teenagers, the man pulls out a knife, and shortly after getting to his feet, the man goes to attack. Nikolai Miu, the man with the knife, would go on to take the life of 17-year-old Isaac Schumann and injure 4 others in the process. One of the victims, AJ Martin, was cut
Shalom, all praise go to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. As you can see in this clip, this man, in this video, he stabbed a bunch of people, including a couple of teenagers. So, this is obviously a graphic video, but so basically this guy, a group of kids, basically this guy like went up to a group of kids and he started like, I don't know, going up to them, and the kids thought it was weird or something, so they started calling him out. And so I guess one of the guys pushed him, and ultimately this guy, he struck back in fury, and he ultimately the dude took the other guy out. So this guy, he took this one kid out, and he stabbed him, and he stabbed 2 other people. And this guy was a fucking Edomite killer, and he stabbed another guy, which ultimately both people were tempting the Lord. So this guy was obviously a spirit created to just take people out. And this guy was just, a maniac, an Edomite killer. I'm going to read the book of Jude 1, verse 4. It says, There are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of Yahweh into lavishness, and denying Yahweh Shai. So, ultimately, this verse, it applies to, agents, people, that are creeping around, monitoring spirits, wicked spirits that are watching you. But it also applies to this situation, because this dude was just, 5 minutes earlier, nobody knew who this dude was. And 5 minutes later, this guy just takes, he starts stabbing a bunch of people, ultimately taking the life of somebody. So this guy was a spirit. He was born up until that moment just to kill other people. And there's many people walking around like this today. So this is why you don't go around just messing with random people. And if you look in the clip, there was actually a group of about six young boys, or some of them were adults. Most of them were like 17 and under, and some of them maybe older. And a few of them, one of them pushed the guy, and the guy that pushed the guy, he pushed the guy on the ground, and he punched him in the face or slapped him. The guy got up and just pulled a knife out of his pocket, and he took the other guy's life. So ultimately, you don't want to tempt these other spirits, because you don't know who you're messing around with. I saw videos like some guy, like he walked up to a dude on the road, and he literally this dude literally just the guy got out of his car and just shot him, because these are spirits just created just for judgment. And Esau, he's very haste to use his weapon, and I'm gonna get a scripture for that. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing where his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. So Esau, his blessing is, the sword, hunting. Okay, he was a hunter. So, and basically, his lineage goes back, to people today. And so you see people today, if they're going around, carrying knives, carrying guns, walking around with that freely, showing off their gun. Yeah, that person, their bloodline probably goes back to Esau, because ultimately, like the scripture says, it says, there's nothing new under the sun. So, I'm roughly paraphrasing. So, the people today, they're not much different than, the people we see in the ancient world. So, this dude was just a complete, killer. And he ultimately laid judgment on, another person. And there are many people like this walking around. So ultimately, the Lord let this happen, though. So the Lord let this happen, and I'm not gonna play the full clip, but the people, they were laughing in the clip, and they were laughing at the guy, pushed the guy, like literally like about 30 seconds later, they were like crying and screaming. So, in the day of calamity, we're going to see a lot of things like this happen. People are going to see, people are going to have to get serious, and only the men of the Lord will be preserved. And so, the people right now, the men of the Lord, they're seen as the lowest in society. But during those days, we're going to be seen as, the highest in society. This is the book of Mark, verse 10. And it says on the bottom, but many who are considered to be the most important now will be the least important then. And many who are viewed as the least important now will be considered the most important then. So ultimately, this is speaking about the men. Ultimately, this is speaking about the men of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And, so in those days, the days of calamity, people are going to see the men of the Lord. They're not going to be touched. It's going to be there's going to be, cars, bombs going off, people getting robbed. But, the men of the Lord, nothing's going to happen to them, the elect. They're going to be preserved through those times. And people are going to be like, wow, what I'm saying? Like, how do I get in contact with these people, or how do I get with these people? They're going to try to, basically cleave on to the men of the Lord, because, nothing bad is going to happen to them, while everything else is pure chaos, order out of chaos. And I'm going to get another scripture. It says, I'm going to read the book of Isaiah 32, verse 2. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place. Okay, so what does this mean? It means, this goes back to the Isaiah 4:1 prophecy, where it also, 7 women shall take on one man. 7 women shall take on one man, which means that, there's going to be so crazy going on. There's going to be prisoners walking outside because the prisons are going to be released. Rapists, all sorts of psychopaths, like the man I showed in that video. There's going to be all types of people, and ultimately people are going to want to go to the men of the Lord. So the spirit of these independent women, these boss bitches, these hoes. Yeah, there's no spirit of that during the days of calamity, because everything will fall into order. It's going to fall into order because that's ultimately what's going to happen. And there's not going to be you might see 7 women just lining up at your door. You're not going to even be able to take all of them. You know what I'm saying? And during that time, I don't even think some of the brothers in this truth want to say, well, always talk about Isaiah 4:1. Yes, that's going to happen, but when shit hits the fan, I mean, your priorities, you got to set your priorities straight. We can't even, you shouldn't be worried about, that should be the last thing on your mind. When getting with all these random women. So, yes. I'm gonna read the book of Proverbs 24. It says, "For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both?" So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy for these people. And calamity shall rise suddenly. So yeah, in that clip, you clearly see like people were joking, and pushing this guy and tempting the spirit created for destruction, and the dude just laid out his wrath. I mean, the dude went crazy, and there's plenty of scenarios like of this happening where shit could have just been avoided, but ultimately the Lord let this happen. So the Lord did let this happen. And what can you do? This is the Lord's. This is the Lord's decision to make this happen. So ultimately, we're gonna see shit like this happen where one second it's calm, and the next second it's everything's going insane, everything's going crazy, and and so I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hope this lesson was edifying to you. As always, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Makakodas, and I would like to say Shalom.